everyone. Really nice to be here. I was going to say to see you all, but I can't see anything. I can see myself. But it's so nice to be with you all in this time, in this space. And yeah, I have been going through so much shift and transition and change in my own life. So it's been hard to um, translate all of that and keep up in these videos with you all. I'm going to do another part two of the Q&A because we had so many questions come in. But I wanted to kind of interrupt the flow, which is something I'm really good at, is pivoting with what's emerging in the time. And this month of February has been such an immense time for folks all over. Energetically, it's been really, really intense. There have been breakthroughs, breakups, changes, shifts, things falling apart, things collapsing, things coming back together, all in the same time. And so I just want to like name the energy that's here for us in this month in many different ways that it shows up, and how we can kind of be with it. I found myself at the beginning of the month being like hit and slammed with this energy and not knowing really how to move with this Aquarian age, right? This Aquarian energy, this water energy. And if you know anything about water, it's like it flows, right? It's moving, it's flowing. It can be really intense, it can be really mellow, it can be like in between. It can have all these different iterations of it. And that's what makes it so powerful and beautiful is that we can be with that energy of the water and it can kind of move through us in the ways that it needs to move through us. So I really just want to invite in wherever you're at in this moment. You might be at a really hard time in your life right now. You might be really sick physically or injured with something. That's really common in this time and this energy we're entering into. It won't stay like this forever, but it is this place that we're in right now, right? So, how do we be with it instead of push against it and wish it wasn't here? Because it's here, it's not going nowhere. And that's a lot about this energy, too, is that it's really inviting us to be confronted in a good way about what it is that's still with us, what it is that we need to look at, take out. And it's really all the things are coming up to the surface for a reason. So if you find yourself like, wow, yeah, I'm being faced with things like from my past and from things that I don't want to talk about or things that I just like don't want to deal with, and they're starting to really come up in really intense ways, they're for you, they're for your growth, they're for the collective, right? We're all interconnected. So when we heal the collective. When we go into the shadow, we go into the shadow of the collective, right? It all is sort of mixed together in that way and also still separated, right? Um, and so we hold these paradoxes. But this energy is really inviting us into that time of going right into that shadowy work so that we can heal, so that we can see things differently, so we can treat things differently, so we can be differently. Because what's coming up in 2024 is going to call us all into ways of being that we've never even been before, that we've never even thought we would be in before, right? And I wanted to share something that happened to me a couple days ago because I think it speaks to it's okay to not know. You know, like I get asked a lot, well, you just must know all these things so then you have comfort in like where you're going with your life, what you're doing, and what decisions you should make. And I'm like, no, I'm able to do that for other people. And I get, let's say, let's more, maybe more signs, but I don't even think it's that, right? I think people get a lot of signs, but it's like if you're not open to it or if you're not trusting of them, you'll never see the sign, right? And you'll never get enough and it'll never be enough, right? For me, I treat every sign as such a gift and such a guiding post to my life. And I'm so grateful for it, right? Because I know that I could have none and that would be really hard and difficult. But that's not how we are existing here. We're existing here, yes, in a singular experience, but we're also connected to the more than human realms and worlds and our guides and our loved ones and our beings. So in that way, we are fully supported and fully backed up with what it is that we need in the time that we need it. And if we can trust that, we can really feel the support and the nourishment that's here, even in the time of crisis, even in the time of things being really challenging, or in the time of things coming up that we just didn't expect, right? So, in that way, I receive a lot because I'm open to a lot, and I'm open to all the different ways it's coming through, whether that's through animals, through nature, through people, right? Affirmations from other people's words that are landing on me. And I'm like, whoa, I think that was for me. I needed to hear that too. Something I heard, something I read. I'm always opening up my, I don't know, fields, if you will. I just saw these like bowl shaped like bowls or something, but sort of like what are they called? Like antennas, right? Or big like dishes that are trying to pick up signals, right? Mine are always open, so I'm very accepting of things that are wanting to come through to me. So in this way, I was home alone and I wasn't doing anything in particular grand. And that's another thing I want to bring in is people are like, well, I don't even have time to do a ritual right now. And that would just take forever. And like, I have kids or I have a job, I have like all these commitments and things I have to do. Like, how could I, it's not just going to come to me. I have to do all these things to get it. Not so true. Not so true. And I want to really like dismantle that because there's a lot out there that says you have to achieve all these things to then experience a breakthrough. People have experienced spiritual breakthroughs many times in many different ways in their life. Some not preferable, right? We hear about people having near death experiences or um, they have a out of body experience suddenly and they're not in control of it, or they have a multi-dimensional multi-being experience or an extraterrestrial experience. I mean, this experience can happen at any time, and they're not necessarily on a psychedelic or on something. Those can happen too, right? But I'm talking about just the mundane experiences, right? The mundane day-to-day things. Like there's still magic that wants to come in if we are open to it and if we allow it. So as I was at home alone, just doing like laundry, taking care of things I needed for the week, I started to kind of daydream. And what I mean by daydream is that my attention sort of was lifted out and it was sort of spacey. Now, if anyone knows me, you know I'm not very spacey. I'm ethereal, but I'm very grounded, very, very grounded in the earth energy. So my energy and attention is down here. But this energy had me go up and out, much so when I am reading or channeling, I tend to go up and out, right? I'm still very much tethered in my body and in my body and alert and aware, but I'm out and I'm kind of exploring or traveling or going around. So this was happening as I was going around the house and cleaning. Like I'm like picking up things, cleaning, just tidying up. And I start to I'm like, what's happening here? But it didn't feel scary because of the work I do and because I've done it for so long that I know that something is trying to communicate with me. I don't know what exactly, but I know something. So I kind of go to the kitchen sink and I start doing dishes. And again, it keeps getting more and more trancy, is what I'll call it. It's sort of just pulling me out. I can feel the motion of myself doing the dishes, but I'm not there, right? Um, and I know I'm not there. I know I'm not here, but I'm also here, right? At the same time. So as this energy comes in, I can feel my thoughts and worries about the future also come in, right? There's the humanness that's playing out, and me wondering what's going to happen. Where am I moving to? Uh, who is my community? Who do I belong to? Um, where is this all going? Why is everything so up in the air right now? I'm so worried about this. I'm so worried about that. How is this going to play out? All these things, right? My mind is just going off because it's having time to, right? When we do something with our body, our mind then has time to kind of like do whatever it's doing, right? It can kind of go off into some spin if it wants, and our body's doing something else. So, in this body doing something else, washing the dishes, and in my mind fretting off in these worry fields, I heard a voice come right through my body. It was like a beautiful beam of lightning just coursing through my body. And I heard a voice that wasn't a voice of one, but a voice of many. And as this voice spoke, it said, "You do not have to be afraid of what's to come. Instead, you should treat it as a great adventure because this is why you're here. All you have to do is say yes to the adventure and dive in and see what happens on the other side of that. The rest will take care of itself, Ash." And I was like, whoa. That felt like it wasn't a thought coming through my head. It was like a message coming through my body, right? So it came through my head and then trickled down through my body, and my whole body was like electric. Just saying it now, I was like, whoa, this is wild. So I was like, okay, I'm washing the dishes. I'm like, whoa, like that felt like truth. That felt like guidance. It felt like truth. Okay. And I felt the remnants of the beings that I've been speaking about that I haven't quite shared about yet, of the Andromedans. The Andromedans have been coming to me for the past few months and the beginning of last year. And I've had these different interactions with them through the stars in the night sky. I've had visitations, I've had them moving around in the sky, I've had them oscillating, and I've had them calling me at 2, 3 in the morning to the sky, and all these different attunements happening so that I can better connect with them, better communicate. And it hasn't quite been the time, it hasn't quite been ready, and they've told me that in many different ways, like not the right time, not the right time. So I've been patiently just honing and cultivating this relationship with them and open to their communications. And they started coming through in certain people's readings who were already connected to them and their civilization and their planetary alignment. So that's a whole other video. So we are not the only ones, surprise. And there are many other planets with many other different kinds of beings, not just human beings, but energy beings, um, insect like beings. It's so hard to describe, but there's just trillions of different races of beings who are in different planets and inhabit them in different ways based on the ecosystem and the environment of their planet, right? So we have Earth, and then we have the Andromedans, who are the closest to us in the Milky Way. So as I'm hearing all this information. I'm feeling the buzz in my body, which is like check, check, check. When those two things are coming through, I'm like, someone is communicating with me, and it feels like not one, but many, but they speak as one. So as that came through, I said to them telepathically, thank you so much. I really needed to hear that. And I would like validation that I'm not just saying this in my head, that these are not just my thoughts alone, that you're working through me. And they said, go to your tarot deck right now, shuffle the cards, and pick one with your eyes closed and turn it over. So I shuffle the cards, I go into my room immediately. I close my eyes. I let my hand be guided to the card. I open the card and turn it around, and it's this one. And it says, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Y'all, I just started screaming. No one was home. So I just started screaming and squealing and freaking out and like threw the card across the floor, just like an utter delight and hilarity. Like I could not stop laughing. And then they were laughing. I could feel them laughing as well. And I just thought, here we go. Here we begin. It's time now. I'm fully engaging with them and they're fully engaging with me. And they like to get me when I'm alone. And it's easier when I'm alone, um, to have them contact me. So as I receive these messages of adventure, say yes, jump in, literally what they've told me, right? And what's odd about this is that this is the only Andromedan card in the entire deck. And I've never received it. I've never received it. So it just felt so meaningful, right? To get that validation, to know beyond a doubt that the message is clear and that actually to be with this energy that I'm in right now and that we are collectively in is to actually an invitation to go with, is an invitation to jump in, is an invitation to see this as an adventure instead of a disruption or a challenge or something hard. Like, yeah, there's going to be that, right? But when we meet it with this mentality of this is why we're here. This is why we said yes to Earth. This is why we chose this incarnation. We didn't want to be passive. We wanted to engage. We wanted to be alive. We wanted to experience, right, what it is to truly be here as many times as we want, but we're here now, right, in this lifetime. And so, in that messaging, my whole body relaxed, and I was able to really see everything I'm in right now as an adventure, as something that's part of the experience and doesn't take away from it. And that's what's really magical about this time, is that on the outside looking in, one might say, wow, this is so much change, Ash. Like, it's like one change after another. There's all these things going on. Like, aren't you freaking out? And I'm like, oh yeah, that could be a possibility. That could be something that is how I deal with it. But I'm not, right? I'm seeing it as a great adventure. I'm seeing it as, thank God I'm not living the same way I was just living. Thank God I'm not even the same person that I was just a few months ago because of all this change. And thank God things are shifting in a way that I don't even understand, but I trust wholeheartedly with my heart and my soul, right? Because that's going to lead me to places I haven't even yet dreamed or imagined of, right? And like just feeling that is like, whoa, in my body, like, whoa, that's what we're talking about. And that's what the invitation of this month is really about, is how much can we trust the changes that are at play? How much can we trust the longings that we have to be not just longings, but things we say out of our mouths, out of our throats, right? Out of our bodies, that we need this, that this is part of our aliveness, part of our way that we express ourselves and the way that we feel connected to this earth, connected to the bigness of what is, and also connected to each other, right? So I want to invite you, wherever you're at in your own energy right now, whether you're feeling totally exhausted, which is also an element because so much is shifting right now, where you're feeling so sped up that you can't calm down or sleep. That's also a signature of this energy. Or you're like, wow, I'm getting all these ideas. I have no idea what to do with them or what they mean. Great, right? Seeing if you can actually just trust where you're at and love where you're at and see it as a daring adventure into this next threshold that you have no idea what it's going to be about, right? When we can approach life in that way, we can have a softer experience even when it's very challenging, even when it's very hard. We can meet it with curiosity. We can meet it with creativity. We can meet it with possibility. We can meet it with openness. And when we do that, we literally start to reconfigure the patterns in our brain and in our body. And then we become someone we didn't even know we were becoming, right? And we're on the way to our own unique liberation and the sovereignty of our own soul. That's what this month is about. So I hope this inspires you. I hope you feel moved by these connections. I hope you trust the intuition, the messaging from your ancestors, from your guides, whomever is coming through for you, and knowing you don't have to do anything astounding to receive messages. You can do the laundry and start asking for connection and guidance through there. You can knit, you can sew, you can wash dishes, and you can clean the house and ask for messages while you're cleaning and play some music that you love. You'll be shocked, because when the mind and the body have something to do, other things can come through. When the mind and body have something to do, other things can come through. And that's the magic of what it is to be in a human vessel, but still have our spirits fully intact, is that it's not hard. It only becomes hard when we make it hard. We put all of these things in the way that have to make it be a certain thing or a certain way, right? Or we have to have a defined, what does that mean? Break that down. Give me the map after. That's not how it works. Just even a little crumb is a gift. It's a gift. If we get to sit with that and decide what that means, there's no right or wrong way to interpret what we receive for ourselves. And if we're off, and if it's not making sense, another thing will come and make it more sense, right? We can ask that. Can you make it more clear here? I really need I need like a big sign. Can't see this right now. I need something really, and you'll get it. You'll get it, right? And then you have to decide to trust that, to really, really trust that. I'm sending you all so much love and care and grace as you navigate this time. I hope you are gentle and compassionate with yourself. And I so look forward to connecting with you all very soon.